This was his first appearance at the General Assembly. He's been head of Libya for some 40 years, and this was his coming out moment, so to speak, here at UNHQ. And he certainly took his time and got off his chest, clearly, a lot of issues. The Libyan leader speaking for 1 hour and 36 minutes, Hala. Many referring to that as a rambling speech that touched on so many different issues. But the essential thrust of his message is that the United Nations, as it is organized now, is unfair. He described an atmosphere of inequality where the rich nations effectively dominate the poorer. Let's listen to some of what he had to say.
Anyone who says that I'm higher than or above the General Assembly should leave the United Nations and be alone. Democracy is not for the rich or for the rich or for the one who terrorizes us or for the one who is more powerful than us. Should have democracy. No, the higher world or the upper world should be the all nations at equal footing. Now the Security Council is a security feudalism, political feudalism for those who have a permanent seats, protected by them, and they are used against them, against us. Should not be called the Security Council. It should be called the Terror Council.
He railed against the Security Council during that speech that lasted well over an hour. He basically said it was unfair. He questioned why the African continent didn't have a permanent member on the Security Council. We should point out, Hala, that Libya is a member right now as part of a 2-year non-permanent member status. So he will, in fact, be sitting across from President Barack Obama when that Security Council summit meeting is held tomorrow. But a long, rambling speech. I want to point out some of the really bizarre, that's really the only way we can describe it, comments made by Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, saying that swine flu, the H1N1 virus, is probably something that was created in a lab somewhere and somehow got out because they lost control of the situation. It was probably a military tool or weapon of proliferation. You already heard him say that the Security Council should be renamed the Terror Council, calling for basically the United Nations to be reorganized and the General Assembly to be the key body, the key powerful body in this organization. The other thing he said, which was met with some amusement, a wry amusement, he called President Obama my son and congratulated him for his maiden address here at the United Nations. But